So I want to welcome everyone to attending today's webinar. This webinar is titled How to Submit CNP Claims. So my name is Stephanie DeSwanko. I'm a program officer here at the Nevada Department of Agriculture. And today's webinar will focus on submitting National School Lunch Program claims in CNP. So this webinar is being recorded and will be posted later on our YouTube channel and SlideShare account under NDA Food and Nutrition. So as far as housekeeping, all attendees have been muted. If you have any questions, please type them into the question bar. Any questions will be addressed at the end of the presentation. And the professional standards learning code that will be addressed is 3310, meal counting, claiming, and managing funds. So a complete list of the professional standards learning codes can be found on the USDA website. And the link to that website is listed on this slide. So here is today's agenda. We'll be covering first general terms. So we'll be defining what CNP stands for and how to access and gain access to CNP, as well as how to submit claims. So before we move forward, I created a poll. So as far as what that poll consists of is, have you ever used CNP before? Please take a couple of moments to answer yes, no, or you're not sure that you've ever used CNP. All right, so I'll go ahead and close the poll. So as far as the responses, we have 58% of those of you viewing today's webinar marked yes, and 42% of you marked no. So it looks like about half of you have used CNP already and half of you haven't. So as far as what CNP is, so CNP stands for Child Nutrition Programs. So from this point forward, we'll be referring to CNP as the web portal used to enter claims for reimbursement, download forms, and complete the annual application renewal process. So our focus on this training today on CNP will be on claims for reimbursement. So as far as for claims for reimbursement, program sponsors are required to submit a monthly claim for meals served to eligible children. And this is required according to federal regulations, so 7 CFR 210.8. So this complies with the state of Nevada's accounting requirements to separate payments between fiscal years. So July 1st marks the beginning of the year, and June 30th following marks the end of that 1 year. As for the monthly claim for reimbursement, there are two parts to the claim. So the first part is the monthly site claim, and the second part is the monthly consolidated claim. So I'm a pretty visual learner, so I thought the pie charts would be a good representation of the parts to the claim. So if you see that slice of the monthly site claim, that's one part to that consolidated claim. So if you have multiple sites It just adds more pieces to that pie. So we'll be defining what those parts to the claim are. So the first part is that monthly site claim. So the monthly site claim is the individual site. So this claim form contains individual site information or school information. And a monthly site claim must be submitted for each site or school. Part 2 is the monthly consolidated claim. So the consolidated monthly claim form combines all the information that was input into the monthly site claims. So this data in the consolidated monthly claim will populate automatically. So there is no need to enter any data into the consolidated form. The sponsor only needs to verify the information, insert signature, and submit the consolidated monthly claim. So why are there two different claims? So that, again, that first part's that monthly site claim for each site, whereas there's one monthly consolidated claim for each sponsor. So remember, the consolidated claim combines all the site claims into one claim form. So next we'll be going into how to access CNP. So in order to access CNP, the sponsor will have to complete this form, and this is the user authorization form. So this form can be found on the Nevada Department of Agriculture's website under Commodity Foods, under Resources, and it would be under the Forms section. So this form may also be found in CNP if you already have a user within your organization that has access to CNP, and this can be found under the Sponsor Application section of CNP under Form Download. So it's mandatory to have this copy signed in order to access CNP. So again, it's the counting and claiming system. Also to CNP 2000, which is the ordering system for USDA foods, as well as the Mustang system, so to gain access to the direct certification list. This form also allows users to be added to our email distribution list. And this form must be completed in order to add or remove users. And users can be added or removed at the same time. So where to submit the claim for reimbursement? So this is the website and screenshot of CNP. So the website is cnp.nv.gov. So once you complete that user authorization form, you can anticipate receiving an email from our administrative assistant, Shauna Sabo. And if you need any assistance with your username or password, feel free to contact her. And her email is ssabo@agri.nv.gov. So at this point, I have another poll. So before we get into how to enter claims into CNP, I would like to see how many of you have ever submitted a claim in CNP. So please take a few moments to answer this question. So have you ever submitted in CNP a claim for reimbursement? So it looks like a few respondees have already responded. I'll give you a few more seconds if you haven't already. Okay, I'll go ahead and close the poll. So it looks like 56% of you have answered yes, that you have responded or that you have submitted a claim within CNP, and 44% of you haven't. So it looks like the same with having ever accessed CNP. So now we'll be getting into how to enter a claim into CNP. So once you gain your login, you know what the website is. Once you first enter into the claim, the first step to do is to enter that monthly site claim. So the first step that you would do is choose claims on the left-hand side of the screen. The next step would be to select claim entry. Next, you would click on the month for the claim that you would like to enter. So notice on the form screenshot that there's a toggle button for the school year. So this screenshot's taken from school year 2015-2016. You'll just want to make sure that you're within the correct school year to enter your claim. And you can also notice too on this screenshot that the claim status has been paid on all of those claims for Caliente. So in this example, you would scroll down and select the most recent unpaid claim month, which would be May 2016. So next, after selecting the month you'd like to enter, you would select the site. After that point, you would fill in the data for the numbers for each category. So each category is broken down into paid, free, and reduced eligibility. And then this information is also broken down by program. So on this screenshot, you can see that it's broken down into lunch, breakfast, after-school snack, and special milk. So please keep in mind that the rates for reimbursement are determined during the annual application renewal process. So under the breakfast category, you can see that there's the regular and severe need columns. Those rates are determined when we approve the application renewals. And the same goes for after-school snacks, regular column as well as the area eligible column. So these rates are dependent upon free and reduced eligibility determined from years prior. So the first section that you would enter is the number of meals served by category. And then the next section would be the number of eligible children. And again, this is broken down into paid, free, and reduced. And then the last section would be the number of days served. And this would also be in line with what's listed on the application that was initially submitted at the beginning of the year for the number of operating days. So this screenshot is a full view of all those different categories that should have been entered. So keep in mind that this is for an RCCI as an example. So they have categories in lunch, breakfast, and snack. So once this data is entered, there is additional information that may be needed, and please enter this data as applicable. So for instance, if you serve adult meals, so those adult meals that are earned and paid, you would enter the number of adult meals into each program category. So either for breakfast, lunch, etc. The next section, as applicable, would be other revenue dollars. So this would include a la carte and separate milk sales. And currently this is optional to enter into CNP at this time. And then the next section, for those of you who are in RCCI, you would want to enter the highest number of children fed on any given day. Once the data is entered and confirmed on the monthly site claim, use the drop-down box to insert a signature to sign the site claim. And again, these users are determined once you complete that user ID form or user authorization form. Once that signature is entered, you click Submit by scrolling down to the bottom of the screen and click Submit to submit the monthly site claim. So for those of you who have more than one site, a monthly site claim must be entered for each site. So for instance, this is a screenshot of Carson City School District. So because they have multiple sites, they would have to submit multiple site claims. So that was part one, to submit the monthly site claims. Now part two is to enter the monthly consolidated claim. So remember from previously that the monthly consolidated claim is a compilation of the monthly site claims. So after all the monthly site claims have been entered, you'll need to submit the consolidated claim. So in order to do this, you would want to click on Input Another Claim at the bottom of the screen. Select the consolidated claim month. Next, you would click on Add a Claim. And as you can see in this example, no consolidated claims for the sponsor have been entered. And next, you would want to verify the data. So this information on the screen automatically populates from the monthly site claims. So again, you don't need to enter any data into this form. So once you confirm the data on this form is correct, you would insert an authorized signature by selecting that drop-down. So after that, you would choose Submit at the bottom of the screen. And I know for some of you that there might be different staff members who complete each of these portions. So just keep in mind that this is the process as a whole, is how it would have to be completed to submit the claim for reimbursement. Okay, so what now? So after submitting the claim is processed according to the schedule of the accounting technician within the NDA's office. So generally 2 batches are completed per month. As far as the claim deadlines, claims must be submitted as soon as possible. So complete submitting your claims no later than the 10th of the following month. And please reference the reporting calendar for final submission deadlines. So a copy of that reporting calendar was messaged out previously this year. However, it's also included as a handout within this presentation under the handout section. So I can't emphasize enough how important it is to submit claims prior to meeting these deadlines. These deadlines do affect additional reporting that we complete within our office, and we would greatly appreciate that those claims would be submitted as soon as you guys can. So if you need any assistance using the CNP system, feel free to contact me at the information below. So now I'll open it up to questions. I know the presentation was fairly brief as far as how to go through the CNP claims. However, if you do have any questions at this time, please feel free to type them into the question bar. Then that way we can go over those right now. Okay. So I'm seeing to see if there's any questions. I haven't seen any yet. I'll leave it open for about another minute if any of you have questions. Okay. I don't see any questions. So if you do have any questions in the interim, feel free to contact me directly at my contact information that was listed on this slideshow. And I wish that everyone has a fantastic day, and thank you for attending today's webinar.